welcome one more time to Jose's Crypto Journey. After a large search in the internet, I found 3 news that are very important in my opinion, and I bring them to you to share them. The first one will be about Tron and the USDT stablecoin and how have improved lately the usage of the network. The second news will be Dogecoin ETF could be approved extremely soon. And the last news, and very important, will be a Grayscale application with the SEC for 3 ETF, one for Bitcoin Cash, another one for Hedera, which I'm very excited about, and the other one with Litecoin, which is one of the OG, back in the old time, cryptocurrency. Let's start with the first news about Tron that I considered very interesting.
How 41 million new addresses elevated Tron's market position. Tron has emerged as a top blockchain for stablecoin transactions, surging to over 41 million unique USDT addresses in September, up from roughly 5 million at the start of 2025, an eightfold jump in 9 months. That works out to an average of 4 million new addresses each month, with the fastest growth between May and September. Cheap fees and fast confirmations have attracted individual users and institutions alike, especially in Asia and Africa. Businesses, payment platforms, peer-to-peer applications and crypto services are all driving this wave. Centralized exchanges such as Binance, OKX and Huobi support Tron-based USDT deposits and withdrawals, automatically spawning fresh addresses whenever new users join. This explosive adoption cements Tron's role as a major liquidity hub for Tether, making it the go-to network for low-cost remittances, retail payments and broader stablecoin activity.
I want to remind you, if you want full access to the whole article, you can go to bitcoinist.com. I will leave the link in the description. Let's go with Tron. Definitely, Tron is one of the oldest smart contract platform in the cryptocurrency system. I had Tron back in 2017. I didn't see a future in Tron. I did not trust or believe in Justin Sun, the Chinese guy who is the founder and billionaire, basically the one who created Tron. But Justin Sun's pulled together an amazing smart contract platform that have been working very good in partnership with Tether, no doubt about it. Because the biggest stable coin, and everybody understand the importance of stable coins, is on Tron, and not on Tron. Most of the volume of the transaction go on Tron because of the expensive of how smart contract and the Ethereum network work. Tron look like found a niche to grow. My concern about Tron is that besides being the go-to network during the last 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, during a long time, by the way, of the USDT stablecoin, other than that, and unfortunately, the Tron network doesn't bring a lot of value, in my opinion. They don't have breaking, amazing smart contract, lending protocol, L2 that work in smart contracts. Tron doesn't have them. As long as USDT work for Tron, Tron will continue being kind of a good investment. I still don't going to buy back Tron again, and it's not my favorite smart contract platform. Though I want to tell you that Tron have to be careful with, because lately when I do transaction with USDT, frequently to pull the USDT stablecoin out of exchange, I'm using BNB, Binance Smart Chain, and cheaper than Tron, which let's see how the future of Tron can. But so far, USDT grow, the cryptocurrency market grow, USDT adoption and usage grow, Tron definitely will continue at least for a medium term growing with it. Let's go to the next news.
Breaking. Dogecoin ETF Eric Balchunas, a leading ETF analyst, forecasts that a Dogecoin ETF will debut on U.S. markets this Thursday, sparking excitement that it could become the first U.S.-listed ETP built around an asset with zero intrinsic utility. Such a launch would break new ground, potentially opening the door for other meme coin and altcoin fund approvals. The initial prediction drove a sharp Doge price rally, but those gains quickly faded as traders recognized the absence of formal SEC confirmation. Although the Commission has hinted at looser rules, approving then indefinitely delaying an altcoin basket ETF in July, no new altcoin products have actually been approved. If the SEC greenlights the Doge ETF, it would signal broadening acceptance of community-driven tokens and likely trigger a wave of similar filings. Until the fund is officially available, however, the market remains on edge, balancing high hopes against the risk of another regulatory pause.
If you want access to the whole article, you can go to baincrypto.com. What is going on with the meme coin Dog? Dog is one of the oldest proof of work blockchain. It's interesting how the article mentioned that Dogecoin is kind of worthless, at least is what I read. The only value is the community. Let me tell you something. I have mentioned this before, and people will not like or understand it. Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and a most proof of work coin that the only utility that they have is to hold the asset, guarantee that nobody steal it, the network work, the hash rate is big enough and hard enough to avoid a 51% attack or a quantum attack or any kind of software attack. They only move token from address A to address B. If Dogecoin is a worthless meme coin, Bitcoin is a worthless meme coin because the utility is exactly the same. Litecoin, the utility is exactly the same. Just to put into consideration, Litecoin is a hard fork of Bitcoin. Some change it in the code, but it's basically the same, which means yes, we will have definitely, for sure, once the volume is big enough, we will have ETF for any cryptocurrency that follow that requirement. And as long as there is enough volume of trading and as long as the culture behind the coin continue, which why not, there will be cultural use case, tradition, and identity with this project. I see it very simple like that, which means I hope that they approve the ETF of Dogecoin. And if they don't approve it, I can guarantee sooner or later they will approve it. And if the SEC doesn't approve it, who cares? Somebody else will approve it.
Grayscale files altcoin ETFs, Bitcoin Cash, Hedera and Litecoin. Grayscale has filed multiple S1 and S3 registrations with the SEC to convert its closed-end Bitcoin Cash, Hedera, and Litecoin trusts into ETFs, targeting listings on NYSE ACA or Nasdaq. This follows its 2024 success in turning Bitcoin and Ethereum trusts into exchange-traded products. The firm's S3 prospectus for the Litecoin ETF assumes SEC approval of a 19b4 application or generic listing standards. Meanwhile, the SEC has pushed back decisions on Grayscale's spot Hedera ETF and Bitwise's proposed Dogecoin ETF. As of June 30th, Grayscale's Bitcoin Cash Trust held $202 million in assets at $4.31 per share. Closed-end trusts often trade at a premium or discount to net asset value, NAV, whereas an ETF's open-end structure creates or redeems shares to keep trading prices close to NAV. Grayscale's legal appeal against earlier SEC rejections was key to securing U.S. Bitcoin and Ethereum ETF approvals. Since January 2024, spot Bitcoin ETFs have generated over $1.2 trillion in cumulative trading volume, underscoring robust investor appetite.
If you want to have access to the whole article, you can go to devblog.co. I will put the link. Interesting what Grayscale is doing here. It's funny because I hear that the article mentioned that Hedera, there is having some kind of issue approving Hedera. Of course, a small contract platform at the time of doing ETF, they are a little bit more complicated because they have more utility, more use cases, and they can get out of control of the SEC, the regulator, the government that want to control everything as always. In the other hand, Bitcoin Cash is a hard fork of Bitcoin. The block is 4 megabyte, which means can handle the double of the transaction. The speed continue being the same, 10 second, one block. And the hard fork was back in 2017. I remember the huge show when Chinese miners realized that the hash rate of Bitcoin was high enough, that was secure enough, that you can double the size of the block, make the block more vulnerable to attack, but it doesn't matter with that such a huge hash rate. And also I remember there was used to be a signature, encrypted software signature at the end of each Bitcoin block. They removed that already from the original, from the Bitcoin. They removed that. Why? Because when Satoshi Nakamoto made Bitcoin, he was very smart, of course. He make a block size, he make a network speed, he make a signature secure at the end of each block, and too many other parameters to avoid 51% attack. Nobody talk anymore about 51% attack. Why? Because the hash rate is so huge that you don't need the network as secure as we used to need it in the past. Litecoin, a hard fork of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was like the gold, Litecoin was like the silver. And I'm happy. I'm happy with this ETF. I don't going to buy no ETF because I believe know your key, know your crypto. But I'm happy. I'm happy with the proposal of this ETF. They will be eventually approved. Yes, why not? Especially every single proof of work cryptocurrency big enough, they will have an ETF. Why not? Now, Hedera, I like Hedera so far. I have made good money, good return in Hedera, and I want the best for the Hedera because that is on my benefit. Well, guys, this is what we have, a short video for you, sharing with you three news that I consider very important at this moment. And I hope that September is the beginning of a good last 4 months of this 2025. See you next time. If you have any comment, any idea for the channel, I will be more than happy that talk to you in the comments of the video. Also, you will see here in the left hand side and the right hand side of your screen other video of this channel that you can click and continue getting information. Thank you so much.